My name is Johnson Manjema. I work with GBFC. GBFC stands for Goal Space Financial Consulting. And I'm here today to talk to you about 7 steps to financial fitness. And I'll specifically talk about the first step, which is setting your financial goals. And we normally say that you can't get to your goals unless you set them. And we need you to, or for you to begin that process, you need to name or call out your goals by names. And here, by names, I mean some of those goals that you call by name could be affording yourself a comfortable and enjoyable retirement, creating an emergency reserve, could be doing that specific purchase, maybe a car, land, or raising a down payment to purchase a home. It could be a family event that you want to fund, maybe to foster a relationship. You want to take your family for a vacation, or a family event that could be a wedding for your daughter or yourself, and any other goal that you may have. Just write them down. There is power in writing your goals down, because then you know they exist. Then the second sub-step in that first step is prioritizing your goals. And we normally say that all goals were not created equal. Some more superior than others. And when I talk of superiority, maybe it's in the order of execution or precedence, meaning a certain goal will be executed, will have a preference for to be executed first other than the other one. And at the top of the list maybe are the most preferred goals in terms of execution, and at the bottom of that list is the least preferred goals in terms of execution. So the moment you have identified goals, you have prioritized them, so the next step we want you to do is quantify them. And the quantification of goals involves you giving specific figures or attaching amounts to that goal, so that it's clear in your mind what you actually want and in what proportions. So that if you want to raise 10 million for your retirement in 10 years, write that down. If you want 1 million in emergency fund in the next 2 years, write that down. I can only say there is a bit of a problem when it comes to goal quantification in terms of long-term goals, because then a lot of uncertain things are bound to happen between now and by the time you reach that goal. Maybe you're thinking about inflation and expected returns could change, maybe regulations, maybe tax laws, and so on and so forth. So what we say, due to its difficultiness to estimate the amount that you need over a long time, we advise you to work with advisors, consultant, so that you are able to come as close as possible in your estimates on the amounts that you need for long-term goals. When it comes to short-term goals, it's relatively easy to make your estimates, because then there's not so much uncertainty between now and the time that goal materializes. After we've quantified our goals, the next thing we do is determine our time horizons. Where are we now? Where do we want to be? Within what timelines? We say a goal without timelines then is as good as not having a goal, because goals are not infinite. They have a timeline. So give them timelines so that you know what you're working towards, and you can be able to measure, to evaluate your progress each month, each quarter, each half year, each year, and see how close you're moving towards them. Of course, this time horizon will keep changing. Every passing year, you move closer to your goal. And if your goal was for 9 years, then it means after a year, the time horizon will be 8 years, and so on and so forth. You've just to recap, you have identified your goals, you have prioritized them, you have quantified them, you have attached time horizon to those goals. The next thing you need to do is create what we call separate investment accounts for each goal. So for your emergency fund, you create a separate account, and this account will be funded by different kind of investment than the investment that will fund your retirement goal. So we say once you've created those many investment accounts as they are your goals, then you need to match investment so that for the very short term and the very certain goals that you have no chance of missing out on them, I mean you require highest probability for them for their success, then we say you fund them with very safe investments, and sometimes it could be just money in the bank, in a savings account, a deposit account, or even a fixed deposit account, or even treasury bills, or even short-term treasury bonds. And as you move to intermediate goals and long-term, then you can go on funding your investment, especially for the long-term, taking an example of your retirement goal. That can be funded by high-risk investments, which are in the short term, they appear risky, but in the long run, they actually come through for you. And especially for those who have a big retirement goal, you need to be taking some level of risk if you to achieve that goal. Because I tell people there is a risk of being too conservative, because then it means maybe your investment will not be able to keep up with the inflation. And of course, there is also the flip side of it, being too aggressive, especially if you don't have the ability to do that. Then it means there is all the likelihood that you would engage in excessive risk taking that will also make you burn your fingers or jeopardize the ability of your portfolio to meet your goal. So finally, we say you could have that big goal. For example, again, using retirement, and whatever you have or your present financial situation and circumstances are not as rosy as they are supposed to be to make you reach that big goal. What we say here, you can still work with your consultant or advisor to help you determine how much you will be saving as additional contributions to fund that big dream. Of course, when you work with your consultant, the options you could explore maybe if you had planned to retire in 5 years, maybe you can decide to retire in 7 years. If you want to retain your big goal, you could think of sacrificing your present standards of living and maybe contribute a little more. Or else say, no, I don't want to sacrifice my standards of living now. I don't want to retire later than I had projected. Then what you need, you say, I better take a hit on my post-retirement standards of living. So the options we explore, at least even for you to be comfortable at whatever level that what you are doing will come through for you in terms of achieving all your dreams. I would like to leave it at that, and in our next video we are going to have a different presenter in the name of Martin. He will be presenting to you the second step towards financial fitness. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to meet you in the future for more videos. Bye.